Hello.
Hey, looks like we're live. Fantastic.
That's right. You guys know what time it is. Dominaria sign-up window. Here we go. Here comes the new season.
Yeah, it's always exciting when you roll into a new thing and get to swap out some cards, get your players re-energized kind of for a new set rolling out, especially with this one,
Oh yeah.
having some stuff that everybody's already familiar with, going back to a plane we haven't done in 12 years. So
Yeah.
it's a long time. So that'll be really fun for everybody.
That's right. We got the logo refresh as well. A lot of cool new stuff coming with Dominaria. But as usual, we'll give folks a little bit of time to file in here. If you have any questions during the stream, of course, feel free to post them. We're going to do our best to answer them live right to you here, but if we miss you, or if you have one you're watching after the fact, I'll also be following up in the comments for any that we're not able to address.
Yeah, we'll answer everything we can. Some stuff may require a little more research, but we'll do what we can to take care of everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, Dominaria questions, but even if you have more general WPN questions, obviously there's been some changes recently. Feel free to ask, and we'll be happy to help you as best as we can here. All right. But yeah, window's open, so please feel free to schedule as you're watching this live stream. Can't hurt. It's going to be open for a few weeks, but it's a situation where you might as well schedule it now. If need be, you can always make adjustments after the fact.
Yeah, I'd recommend probably even opening WR if you haven't scheduled, and you can kind of keep two windows open and just listen to us while you're scheduling. That'd be
Feel
really
free to alt-tab, no hurt feelings. Awesome. Hey, we got a few folks in here, so might as well dive in. As usual, we're going to go through the programs, kind of go over the basics, address any changes that we're having that we have announced so far. And beyond that, we'll be going into some of the intent behind the programs.
And maybe even some tips and ideas and things that may help you out a little bit.
Best practices. All right. Sweet. So let's dive right into this.
Cool.
All right. So now, Dominaria as a whole. Now, this is part of our 25th anniversary celebration.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of our big kickoff moment for
Yeah.
the 25th anniversary.
Really cool. You guys have probably seen the new logo. This will be the first product to actually use that new logo on the packaging. So associated marketing materials will also have it as well. This is your opportunity to refresh any old promotional items.
Exactly. To go along with that, what you'll see later in the year, right before the set comes out with your kit, we're going to have a lot of cool stuff to kind of dress your store up a little bit with the new logo, replace some of the old stuff. So to kind of give everything that whole fresh look with the new logo all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Some good evergreen items in addition to the Dominaria specific ones for you there. Right. And as a lot of you probably know, Dominaria is actually our first plane. This is kind of where a lot of the Magic storyline comes from the earliest era of Magic. So we're going to be seeing some familiar faces. There's going to be some new faces as well, kind of rooted in that same story there. So some really cool stuff for new and old players alike.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some very cool feelings there for your players because, some of your older players or really well-engaged players are going to recognize a lot of characters and a lot of the areas that we're going to talk about. But the new players, I think, also are going to see it as fresh and new and different. So it's going to have a lot of appeal for both crowds. Yeah,
that's right. Kind of moving forward into the future, the next 25 years of Magic, but also really getting some value out of that nostalgia that a lot of players probably have for it.
Looks like Anna's got a question about, are we going to have new table numbers? Not particularly at this time. We do have some ideas on some things we're working on, but we do have some you can download right now that are available, if you just need to have some extras and refresh some things.
Yeah, we don't have that one on the docket, but we will be updating the marketing materials downloadable page with lots of new designs when we get closer to Dominaria, all to reflect that new logo.
Somebody's hoping for Thalers. We'll cross our fingers for you.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Excellent. All right. And so the marketing materials you kit is going to be more substantial than usual on this. We can't go into the details right now, but it will include things that are relevant to the set specifically and also some evergreen kind of general Magic logo items too.
Cool. So, as usual, we're going to still do open house. That's kind of our big kickoff to the season. Give you a chance to get those new players in, round them up, kind of teach them and get them all set for what's coming the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really not a lot of big changes happening with this one. Of course, you're going to have promos that can be awarded to both new players, but also folks that participate in the standard events or help out recruiting, mentoring, teaching the game. That's big. It's definitely what we want to encourage. We want players to be able to teach other players.
Yeah, especially with this set. This is the time to really get your current players activated, to bring in their friends, cousins, whatever, people that they know that maybe they're coworkers. They're like, hey, I've heard of this Magic thing. How can I learn? It's like, what we discovered is a lot of people aren't good at teaching, so they can bring them to the place where the experts are. So you really want to use them to kind of juice up your day and get those new players in.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the welcome decks will help out with that. Makes it really easy. And keep in mind, so this is going to give them their first taste of Magic, but also of organized play. So the key for this is you need to inform them about the next steps, the next events that they'd have access to in the season. Which, of course, immediately would be pre-release, and another good soft landing spot for those new players is the Magic League program.
Yeah, and both of those have been pretty good so far. Like, we know pre-release is big. You know, it's kind of where everybody comes. It doesn't matter what your skill level is, what level of engagement you have with Magic. It's still one of the peak things everybody comes to. So that's an easy one to drive them to, especially if you want to get them in that spirit of kind of what goes on at an event, get to see the excitement, get to see all your other players energized. It's a really good way to sell the game to them.
Absolutely. And speaking of pre-release, so that, of course, is the same kind of scheduling pattern there. Will be 1 week following the open house. Not a lot of differences for this one either. You'll be looking at offering that sealed or two-headed giant sealed experience.
That's a big question there from Anna. Let's see. Dominaria is first set to launch after energy cycles without Kaladesh, but we've seen a significant impact. Fishing results. Do you have a plan with Dominaria to maintain interest after the rest drops off? That is a very in-depth question, and the only way I can answer that is we do have a lot of things planned. Like, I think that's about as much as I can say on that at this point in time,
absolutely.
Unfortunately.
Now, if you're asking about energy decks and mechanics, there won't be more energy synergistic mechanics in Dominaria, but it will still be in standard, so likely there will be cards to work with. Hey, how's it going, Justin? Good to see you. Cool. All right. Yeah, and Robert is correct there. Rotation won't be till the fall, and that's how it is every year now. We just do that one fall rotation. All right. Pre-release parties are back, so we actually got some good positive feedback on this. A lot of stores were able to utilize them last time to move through some of those excess pre-release packs after the main event. Same story, though. You want to make sure that you have at least one traditional ranked pre-release schedule just to be eligible for an allocation at all.
Yeah, the other thing to remember is your pre-release parties aren't designed to be your main event. They're kind of a thing for the players who either can't spend enough time there to do a full event, or a way for those people that kind of like, I sort of want to play again, but I need to rush home. Like, it's a way to kind of go through some of that extra product.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of gives them a different option there. And let's see, Justin's asking, what does he use? Oh, Dominaria. Well, we don't have much revealed about it just yet, other than a few kind of key arts that we've had, some memorable characters coming out from that. This will be the first of the standalone large sets.
Yes, yes.
So that has been announced. You know, take that as you will. This will always be used in its own draft format, for example, with the 3 boosters.
Yeah, there will be a lot of interesting details coming over the next 2 months or so. So just all I can do is say, keep your eyes and ears open. You know, there's not a lot we can talk about here at this time.
Yeah, awesome. By the way, allocations have already been sent out for pre-release, so go ahead and take a look at those. Keep in mind the only period of time we have to even look into adjustments for your allocation is this scheduling window, which again closes on the 25th of February. So please give us a call as soon as possible if something looks off on that.
Let's see. It looks like we had somebody asking about Arena. We really can't speak about Arena right now. There are some good plans coming, but you know, we gotta stick with their plan as we roll out stuff for the open beta and things. So other than what's already out there, we really can't speak to that right now. Rob actually asked, is there anything, can we bring back sealed release parties? Cool, something we'll take into consideration, actually. We've had a couple people ask about it, something we're talking about. So just know that's on the radar.
Yeah, it's still just draft weekend for this one, but we hear your feedback on this. That is a discussion that we're having internally here. All right. And so moving on to the draft weekend here, definitely a good one to hit. This is one I can't recommend more. We actually have seen a significant increase in the numbers of drafts run on this weekend. In fact, it's been about 40% more than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, when you compare it to where we previously just had a launch weekend versus draft weekend, like having that targeted draft play really has driven the draft numbers up on those weekends.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And kind of related to a question we got here from Frank regarding Fridays. So it is still Saturday and Sunday only, but to kind of explain the intent a little bit behind that. So players typically are coming in on that Friday either to pick up product or to participate in F&M. The intent behind draft weekend is to encourage them to come in for a second visit on that weekend.
Yeah, the way to look at it really, you know, I know some people have mentioned they're a little concerned that maybe they lose 1 or 2 people for an F&M or whatever. But, you know, for simple math, let's say you have 10 that would come in on a Friday to draft. But 2 of them say, hey, you know what, I'm on the weekend instead. So, okay, cool, you only have 8. But if you also make another event of 8 on a Saturday, now you have a net total of 16 players. versus just having that 10 you would have had on that Friday, or possibly 10 on a Friday and then some people that show up on a Saturday or Sunday to draft for an event that may not make because you would have been short on people. So overall, you're positive on tickets and you've sold more packs. So that's kind of what we're aiming for there.
So yeah, and that is our intent behind it. Of course, we're always open to your feedback on these kind of things. Actually, relevantly, the question of the week on the Facebook group and what we'll be sending out through the newsletter as well is relevant to that. So we've got questions about, hey, is this successful in this way? So please answer that. We do look at that feedback every time we ask those questions. Gotcha. Yeah, you're loud and clear on that, Amanda.
Cool.
All right.
So when we go from draft weekend, we roll right into leagues and FNMs.
Yeah, that's right. That's when the season really kind of kicks off, if you will. FNM. So I guess the big news on this, I'm sure you guys are well aware. We're moving back to playable cards from recent standard sets on FNM.
Yeah, and I'll say this. We looked at it. We effectively tried the experiment. We heard all the feedback, and we kind of went a cool new direction with promos. So there's something cool to look forward to. We can't show them to you yet, obviously, but they are going to be standard legal, even usually coming from the new set. So they're going to have a little bit of a different direction, but we think the new treatment and what people are going to see with them are going to be very awesome. So
yeah, so we are taking another direction in that. And yes, we did hear your feedback on it, and we used that in conjunction with other information we had for that. Cool. But good to know, same quantities. So we're still doing the quantities we did for tokens.
Yeah.
That's the 4, 8, 16 by level schema there. Also a good reminder on this. So just as it has been for the last season, you need to schedule out the full season for Friday Night Magic now. If you just schedule that first month, you'll only get enough promos for the first month.
Yeah, that's something to pay attention to. You're still going to schedule the full season, and you also have to effectively ration them out, based on what you're supposed to get per level each week. So definitely pay attention to that, because once you run out, you're out.
Let's see here. We got a question from Eric. Why getting rid of dual decks? So answer on this one, we're always evaluating what products are working, kind of looking at the total releases we have in the year, trying to see what fits and what didn't. And this time we are deciding to remove the dual decks as a result of that.
All right. Anna's question, are there masterpieces in Dominaria? We can't say yes or no. Or we can say just wait till we get to spoiler season.
Yep. As you guys know, we're getting pretty close to preview season, so we'll have more information coming up on that. But we haven't made any specific announcements on that one. All right.
Cool. And we still have Magic League. So that's another good, like we talked about earlier. It's a good soft landing spot for your new players. If you're looking for something for them to do and get active, give them that first bit of weekly play, so they're coming back. That's a good spot to drive them to. It's low competition level. It's not real stressful. It's not like, oh my God, I have to come to the very rigid season. You can come in casually. They can even come in and play with their friends, and that's the best way to treat it. Keep it light. Don't go real heavy on it, and use it as a platform to kind of step into other forms of play in your store.
That's right. I mean, we've got other organized play programs that cater more effectively to competitive players. So this is really where you want to be directing new folks. And keep in mind on this, it's really easy to run. One thing I've heard quite a bit from stores that maybe decided to hold off on running it was, hey, this is kind of a different system. I don't have it worked into my normal scheme for how I run organized play events. The beauty of this is you really don't need to do much. Essentially, you're going to provide the packs for them and record wins and losses. That's it.
Yeah, and honestly, you usually just have somebody going, hey, I lost 3 times. I need to buy another pack.
Exactly.
You're like, great, sell them another pack. It's kind of, you become more of a facilitator than an organizer for something like League.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I should say, you don't need to record wins and losses unless you want to do your own point system for it. All you upload to us is an attendance list each week. That's it. That's all we need to see, and you can run the program. And keep in mind, for some communities, this actually really takes off. We've asked a lot of questions about, hey, how effective are these programs? And some of the comments we see for Magic League consistently is, yeah, this became the thing that my store was known for.
Yeah. Let's see. Adam is asking, what sort of additional stuff is there going to be? Will we have some? Oh, yes, we will definitely have some POP materials. I don't know if you saw it. You may have come in late. We are going to actually send you guys a bunch of things to kind of revamp your store a little bit with the new logo. So that'll be on a few things. Then we'll also have some cool just Dominaria related stuff as well that we'll be sending. So you'll get to see those obviously in due time, but yes, there will be new materials.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Haven't seen it myself. I'll let you know. It's one of the cooler kind of promotional kits that we've sent out in quite a while here. All right. Relevant for the league too. This is something we're asked about a lot. We are going to have collection boxes for Dominaria this time.
Yep.
Yeah. So you'll be able to hold the decks in store for your players with those quite easily. And yeah, should be another little perk for participating there.
Let's see. We run league point system. Okay, just talking about league. Well, that's awesome. If that's what's working for your store, Rob, keep it going. Whatever engages your players, gets them to come back. Helps you move product. That's really what we're aiming for. Just only thing I would caution is don't make it too competitive because you want it to still be accessible to those beginner level players.
Mm-hmm. And in response to your question here, so for the pre-release parties, so you still want to be entering a player into an event and kind of offering a space where they can play with other folks that have done the same thing. The short answer to your question is it's still one per player on the pre-release parties, as far as selling them the kit.
Well, I guess one per entry is more accurate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. One per player for the event that you're uploading there. All right.
Then we still have Standard Showdown. So this is going to look very much the same as before. You're still going to get your packs. They're going to have the 4 cards, a couple of rares, your land, and then a foil card. So there, all you're really doing is promoting standards, setting a week, and giving a place for your competitive players to come and throw down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we actually heard increasingly throughout the year as we were getting feedback on this one that Standard Showdown started to really shine for stores and started to become one of their kind of frontline programs that they were pushing. So
yeah, and that's really exciting because I think when we first rolled it out, some stores may not have been doing as much standard or they weren't really sure how it was going to work for them. And as the season went on and players kind of got used to seeing it, we saw more and more engagement with it and more positivity toward the program. So that's really awesome. So if you're not on board, definitely get on board.
Yeah, it's true. By the end of the year last year, it actually had emerged as our favorite from retailers of the new programs that we offered. So definitely a good one to sign up for there. And keep in mind, so as you're scheduling for Dominaria, you're also going to be getting the Rivals of Ixalan Store Championship on the books within the same window here. And it's going to be pretty much the same as last run.
Yeah, so you'll still get your play match for the winners. You'll get your 8 boxes for your finalists, effectively, and you will still get a rare promo that will go to all the players that participate. Mm-hmm. At least while supplies last up to 30.
That's right. And some of the flexible scheduling options that we had last time are coming back as well. So you do have that full week range that you'll be able to schedule for the store championship. Which includes Friday, but one point of clarity on that. So these are still separate from your F&M events. Very specifically, you want to upload them separately and not combine things like the promotional materials.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Please do not mix your materials to send the wrong message or give people or players the wrong expectation. We want the programs to be run fairly and equally. And just like Nelson said, if you're going to run it on that day, make sure that they get entered separately. Personally, my recommendation would be choose a different day because you're already going to take advantage of Friday being your F&M. So give yourself a chance at extra sales and extra play on another day.
Yeah, very much so. It's like our thinking on draft weekend for it. You've already got players coming in on that Friday. This is us giving you some resources to encourage them to come in on a different day as well. And this is our competitive event for the season. This is the one that has real stakes. So as with any of our events or programs, if you'd like to increase the prize structure or add anything else to it, totally up to you. All right, let's see. We got a couple more questions here as well. Let's see. Do we get new land art for Standard Showdown during Dominaria?
Not for Dominaria, we will not. They're going to still have the same lands they had before. So you'll get another round to try to collect the Rebecca Gway lands.
Still a very beloved set of lands there.
Yep.
And can we consider the buy a box pack again? Those worked well and it helped us sell more boxes over other sets.
I will say this, that was a cool promotion. Everybody seemed to like it. We are thinking about the space for buy a box and what we can do for you guys. So we can't dedicate to buy a box packs right now, but can tell you we are thinking about cool ideas and new ways to help you move product for sure. So probably some stuff coming in the future, but we can't speak about it right now.
Right, and anything else here? Can store championships be Masters 25 booster draft? So for the seasonal store championship, we ask that you do use the boosters from that set. In this case, that is Rivals of Ixalan.
Yeah, and part of the idea is we want it to be kind of a wrap up of the season, of that set, and to kind of tie in and lead to the next set. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a messaging thing there more than anything else.
And yes, and Perry is absolutely correct here. There is nothing rotating out with Dominaria. That won't happen until the fall release here. All right, that's great. We're getting some good questions here today.
Good.
All right, so we run Showdown early afternoons and evenings, draft in the evenings. Some players enjoy playing league matches between the two events, which works well for us. Yeah, no, that's a great way to do it. So for Magic League, players can sign up at any time. They can play their matches at any time. Nothing needs to be scheduled for this. So when you've got players kind of waiting around in between rounds, I don't know, maybe you had like an aggro versus aggro comp, and then they've got 30 minutes to blow or something. Anytime you can fit it in, players are eligible to get those league matches.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about, right? You get that flexibility and you make it accessible. And if nothing else, sometimes you might get players that get exposed to it and go, "Oh man, what are you guys doing?" It's like, "Oh, you just sign up for league and you get this stuff." And like, so it's an easy way to kind of get that extra promotional effort out of the program too.
Yeah, absolutely. Good one to fill in the cracks there.
Since you're getting rid of small sets, will we see more reprints so there aren't too many cards in standard? We can't really speak to that, unfortunately. There's going to be a lot of things taken into account as the set designs are different. So, all we can say is just kind of got to wait and see. That's not something we can really speak about right now.
No announcements just yet.
Yeah.
Jennifer asks, can I change the events if I've already scheduled them? Yes, you can, actually. So you can change the format of events now. This was functionality that has been restored to Wizards Event Reporter to make it a little bit easier so you don't have to call in a retail support.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to speak on that for a second. We had a lot of people who, for a while, were scheduling 3 competitive events and 3 casual events in F&M and using all their sanctioning, allotment. And that leads to a lot of events being canceled, right? And what that does on our side is also makes it hard for us to process data, right? Because we don't really know why all those things get canceled. Was it just because you chose the different formats? Were you planning on doing all the formats and they didn't happen? Or whatever. So now what you can do is, at worst, you can schedule a competitive and a casual, and then, just change the formats if that's what you were doing with them. So what we're really pushing for is try to schedule things that you're going to run, because it particularly helps us in our data when we're looking at, did this help F&M attendance or more events fire with the new promos, for instance? Like, that's really important information to us to make those decisions. So something to think about whenever scheduling your events.
Yeah, and actually related to that, I just did get a notification here. FYI so for the F&M promos that are coming, they will be playable and they will be from standard sets. They will not be alternate art though. So just want to make sure that that's clear. They will be foil though, so they will have that. Special
we can't speak on that particular at the moment, but there is a reason why. But they are still really cool, I promise.
Yeah, there is a special element to them which we're excited to reveal soon.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so where were we at?
Yeah, another thing I want to talk about too, since we kind of have everybody here, is don't forget that Masters 25 is open for pre-orders right now. So if you haven't done that, definitely get your orders in. We sent the allocations out last week, I believe. So, definitely go there. Make sure you get your guaranteed product. And we also have dual decks, I think, that are also available for pre-order. So
yeah,
definitely get those taken care of. Like, this is your chance. In case you didn't know, now you know. No excuses.
That's right. Yeah. Dual decks, we have announced some information about those, including the fact that it's staying at the $19.99 MSRP, as opposed to, for a previous iteration, we had it a little higher than that. Something we get a lot of questions about. Yeah, and if you haven't already, take a look at some of the cool stuff we revealed about Masters 25. I anticipate there's going to be great player excitement about it.
There's so going to be.
A couple of cards have already been previewed. Yeah, take a look. We had Jace the Mind Sculptor is a big one there.
Yep. And Azusa, which is awesome for all of your Commander players. I mean, that's a really, really popular Commander card.
Anyone who likes playing lands, should do that.
Yeah, there's some things I wish I could speak about, but we can't. So.
Yeah. Excellent. And we'll have the full previews for that kicking off on February 26th. All right. Oh, a quick mention on Buy a Box. Nothing to worry about on this as far as signing up. You are signed up for it as long as you are a Core Plus store in the network. Yeah, it is going to be sent to you automatically. For anyone that purchases a full box, in-store will qualify for it.
Yep.
Excellent. And I think that's pretty much it for it. So yeah, schedule your events. Definitely get everything in there. Draft weekend, the whole slew. And yeah, do we have any more questions?
Please do not wait till the last day.
Yeah.
Like that always causes problems. Somebody's inevitably going to forget, and it's definitely a little bit of a hassle to go in and, make sure everybody's caught up. And we don't want you to miss anything. That's the biggest issue. You don't want something to not get shipped to you or something to get overlooked. You know, do it early so you have a chance to double check. You can check your confirmation emails, make sure you didn't miss anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and some great comments here in regard to some of the questions we had earlier about reprints, etc. Keep in mind we will have that core set coming back, which is a little bit different than some of the more themed standard sets we have. Sorry, Justin. Yeah, no release dates on Arena just yet either. Still waiting on that one. And let's see here. Yes, Robert, so we can confirm the Masters 25 will be in mass market locations in similar fashion to Iconic there. And let's see.
What do we got there?
So hard to gauge interest in Masters 25 without spoilers for it. And
yeah, you know, and that's a good point. And I know it's come up before. We're trying to be very careful, you know, about how early spoilers go out on product and how much information's out there. You know, we heard that multiple times last year, that putting stuff out too early caused some messaging conflicts, or, you know, maybe causing people not to spend on certain sets. We're already looking toward the next one. So we're trying to be at least more conscious about how that information is coming out and how we're layering it. So, you know, we will get stuff out for spoiler season, but, you know, we also want to give the other products like Rivals right now kind of a chance to breathe.
For sure. And this was largely based on feedback we received as well. We know the importance of that preview cadence and making sure that we're, you know, building the hype up right when it matters, when pre-orders are happening from you guys and from players as well. All right. And let's just give a few more seconds here. If we got any more lingering questions, doing a quick scan, guys. Sorry if I missed you here. Jordan, did you see any good ones?
Cool. And as usual, we appreciate the engagement. You know, we like having you on here, you know, asking questions and, you know, giving us that direct feedback, you know. And it's also good if there's something you want to see covered in these, let us know as well. You know, we can include that next time.
Yeah, please. You know, myself and DeQuan, we're happy to do what we can within the company to cater to those desires that you have wherever we can. So, yeah, let us know. If you've got something that you've consistently hoped to see here and haven't, either direct message myself or feel free to put it in the comments. All right. Well, I think that is pretty much... And fair enough, Anna. Yeah, I'll let you know. We always want to include as many details as we can, but for various reasons, there's certain things that we can't get into.
Yeah.
Very specified dates.
Yeah, some of it, unfortunately, you know, again, we don't want to kill the hype on some current stuff. We also don't want to blow any big secrets to, you know, derail our own promotional campaigns, because that's all very well directed. So, you know, we'll do what we can to get stuff to you. Hopefully, keep it relevant and timely to, you know, let you make some good business decisions.
That's right. And we will actually have another one of these live stream sessions coming up in a couple weeks here in the last week of scheduling. So, you know, if you have any TOs, anyone else at your store that wants to join in, let them know. I'll be creating an event for it on Facebook, just like I did this one. All right.
Cool.
I think that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks so much. Any additional questions you have, please just let us know on Facebook, and I'll be happy to get to you. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.